If you can answer, should women vote?
No, absolutely not. Women should not vote. We should repeal the 19th Amendment. We should take it away. They vote for the wrong candidate every single time. Every single time the women vote Democrat, they vote for the wrong person. They vote for more spending. But above all else, I think that women, we have to look at voting as a position of governance. If you're casting a vote, you're determining who should be in the government. And I don't think that women should be in the business of government at all. I think that government and leadership is a domain of men. And I think, honestly, very few people should vote altogether. I think that it's not just exclusive to women. I think that people that have only been in the country for a generation or two shouldn't vote. I think people that are indigent shouldn't vote. I think that young people shouldn't vote. I think probably people that don't own anything shouldn't vote. And I think, we should get back to a system where a vote is cast really as a representation. I think the vote should be cast by the head of a household. I think that if a woman gets married, her political expression is represented in the vote of her husband, in the vote of the head of the household. I don't think that it's women's position to be in leadership over men, over society. And I think that it's completely outside their domain. So I don't think they should vote at all. And I think the evidence is clear. I mean, ever since they got the right to vote, it's been all downhill.
Burnout, you want to respond?
Do you want me to respond? No, I'm kidding. I will, actually. I just want to ask a question to lead you to a point. Being in the state of where we are in this country, knowing that nothing but men have president this country, you think that women shouldn't have a chance to run it? You think you're doing an amazing job?
Yep. 100%.
Are you here for the progressiveness of the country, or are you here to stick to the cookie cutter, average white male leading the world type of vibe?
Totally average white male leading the world. I think we should have exceptional white males leading the world. I think the world was a great place when we had more of that. The more we get away from that, the worse things seem to get. I think white men should be back in charge, but that's another debate. I think women should definitely not be in charge.
I feel like, I'm not trying to generalize, but I feel like that demographic causes more harm to the country than they ever did good. And that's on a daily basis. That's like from like something as minuscule as a school shooting.
Yeah, but we invented that.
In charge. Like, come on.
You said women vote for the wrong candidate. So why are you the arbiter of what's considered a wrong candidate? Also, you do know that the same wrong candidates that you're talking about, men vote for them as well.
Yeah, I know.
And all these things, I know you said like some men shouldn't vote too, but if you believe in a democratic system where every person's vote should count, I assume so.
I don't.
Why not?
Because let's take, for example, in this society right now, person turns 18 years old. They don't own anything. They've never had a real job. They just graduate high school. This is a person that's voting for the president of the United States. What do they know about anything? What do they know about trade, the economy, foreign affairs? What do they know about one thing in the whole world? A person that owns a building knows more about the world than literally any 18-year-old alive today. Somebody that knows where water and electricity come from, somebody that pays bills, somebody that owns a company. These are people that know how the country actually works. The problem is people look at a vote as a privilege and they've divorced it from why we have the privilege. And we have the privilege because the privilege is conferred upon us by citizenship.
Yeah.
Citizenship, self-government means you take responsibility for the country. It's not just about you're a total bum or you're lazy or you know nothing and then you get to cast a vote. If you're not really upholding the responsibilities of a free man and a citizen, if you're not enterprising, if you're not a good Republican, by Republican, I don't mean a member of the GOP, I mean a member of the Republic, which is, what this country is, I don't think you should be able to vote. And I think there's a lot of people that, whether they contribute nothing or they know nothing, some of them aren't even literate, some of them know nothing about what's going on. The idea their vote cancels out a business owner, their vote cancels out a lawyer, it's totally insane.
I have one point before I move it on to my other people, but I understand what you're saying. There are a lot of misinformed people when they go to cast their ballot, but I don't think that we should put in a system in place where they don't get to make their voices heard, because the president rules the country. That means every single thing they do will affect every single person in this country. So they should have a right to dictate how their lives are going to be governed, whether they're informed or not. Taking away, so like disenfranchising people because we think they're misinformed, it sets a dangerous precedent.
Okay, Christine and then Cheyenne. Christine and Cheyenne. Why should women vote?
I should ask questions. So we're saying
No, stop with the question. But answer this question first.
No,
Why should women vote?
Okay, so if women should they also not work, or is it two separate things? Because
Let's say on subject. Why should women vote?
I think everyone has the right to vote. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Go ahead.
Wow. Great. Great
Why
argument.
should women vote?
Cheyenne.
Okay, I can go now, please. No interruptions? Okay. I think women should vote is because, first of all, we're a human being before we're anything. And I just think that's a little bit disrespectful to say, well, she can't vote. Women should vote not because they're a human being and they have rights just like anybody else do, but why wouldn't you give rights to the person who birthed you? Doesn't make any sense to me. The reason why we're all here today is because of a woman. And you're telling her she can't vote? What's wrong with you?
It's not really an argument. I mean, well, let's start with one. Let's start with one really good argument. The whole basis of a country, really the basis of the country, is that it's able to defend its borders. That's kind of what a country is. A country is a group of people that say this land is our land, and we get to determine what happens within these borders. Now, unfortunately, there is no entity higher than the level of government that enforces these rules. When Russia invades Ukraine, there's nobody that says you're not allowed to do that. If Ukraine can't defend its borders, they lose their land. Those territories are no longer a part of it. So what makes a country is the willingness and the ability to defend the borders and the territorial integrity. If America is attacked from outside or inside, who goes to fight? Who goes to fight the war to secure the realm and defend our way of life and our right to govern ourselves? It's the men. It's the men that go on the front lines. It's the men that take up arms. It's the men that are expected to do these things. And by the way, the same is true in a community. If somebody breaks into your home at 2 a.m. with a gun and a baseball bat or whatever, and they say, hey, bitch, we're going to kill you. We're going to take all your stuff. Who do you call? Cops. What do you want the cops to be? You want some 5'4" little girl to jump through the window and save you? Or do you want a big, tall guy to come in and fix and save the day? Same thing goes for firefighters. Same thing goes for public works. So for that reason alone,
if that's the logic you're using, wouldn't you say men should just be strong and let women make mental decisions?
What?
If that's your strength, if you're equating men to physical.
So hold on. You have no experience in the field and you want to command the people that are risking their lives? Like, what the fuck? And this is the feminist logic. Yeah, you just do the dirty work and we just command. With no experience, with no practice, we tell you what to do. Crazy, man.
Brute strength. Shouldn't women be considered the brain of it all?
Why would we consider them that? There are no female geniuses.
But you're just talking about men being irrational, being violent. Men have to protect women from other fellow men.
Katherine Johnson, who worked at NASA, that's not a female genius?
That's fake. I'm talking about real geniuses. Real geniuses like Isaac Newton, like Galileo. I'm talking about real geniuses, not like hidden figures.
Being geniuses because they are white males, when I guarantee you all of their work could possibly be just copied off of someone else who found it first.
Exactly.
Wait,
I'm copying it from black women.
You identify with them. You can find someone in a different country that knows way more than any of them. I'm not going to.
Like what country?
You're not considering people outside of yourself could be worth more than or more knowledgeable than you because you have this narrow-minded view on who you deem is the top of the totem pole. But I don't blame you for that. That's probably how your life was set up. That's probably why you don't have any other view than that, and why you can't consider that other people feel differently.
I do consider that other people feel differently.
It's giving shelter. It's giving. Just because I've been here this is the way it is, and I'm seeing different. I don't like it, so I'm gonna put a stop to it.
It's giving red pilled. It's giving based. It's
you talk about Albert Einstein and Isaac Newton, but the thing is they were.
I didn't say Albert Einstein.
Okay, but the thing is that the geniuses you're bringing up, the reason why you know about them is because they were in a position where they were able to make their voices heard. A lot of people of color aren't able to do that. So a lot of these geniuses that you're talking about, there probably was a person of color behind the entire operation, but you wouldn't know that.
Yeah, for sure. Like when we went to Africa and you didn't even have the wheel, right? Yeah, but I'm sure Leonardo da Vinci was black, Galileo Galilei was black, Newton was black, Tesla was black. Well, Einstein was a Jew, but maybe was black too. Or maybe they just stole all the works and ideas from black people. Yeah, that's much more probable.
Because a lot of people of color aren't in positions to take credit for a lot of things.
Who was the person of color behind Isaac Newton?
We can see how that dynamic plays out to this
does
day.
not mean that they're the sole creators of that. Would you not agree?
No, I totally. The idea that, you know, there's sort of like this, like black people of the gaps argument, where it's like, if we can find no female geniuses throughout recorded history, if we can find no people of color geniuses throughout recorded history, there's this assumption, well, the white people, they just stole it from some black person somewhere, and we could just safely assume that. No, I actually disagree with that. I think that we know about Isaac Newton because he revolutionized math and science. We know about Galileo because he revolutionized our understanding of space and the cosmos and the world. We know about them because they did these extraordinary things. And when you look at female inventors, if you Google, because I prepared for this debate, if you Google female inventors and you look at any website, top 10 female inventors, in the top 10 is like ice cream maker, miracle mop, coffee filter. You look at the things that men invented, it's like cars, human flight, nuclear bomb, rocket ships. You know, it's like real things. And so to get back to the, go ahead.
Oh, wait, you don't eat ice cream?
Well,
Is my mic working, guys?
Hold on.
I want to talk.
Wait, one second. Hold on. Okay, we'll go in order because there's getting more interruptions. Start with Jazz, and then we'll go to Burnout, and then back to Isaac. Go ahead, Jazz.
Okay. From your opening statement, first you said that you just don't like that women vote because they don't vote for the candidate you want. But the other thing you said was that women lack leadership qualities. So I'm wondering what these qualities are that all women don't have, and that like is a reason to categorically exclude them. Because even if we go based off of we should have informed voters, we should have voters that are paying into taxes or whatever you were saying, there's a lot of women who would meet that threshold and a lot of men that wouldn't. So what is your argument for categorically excluding one group based on their gender when many of them would meet the requirements that you had proposed?
Risk-taking, decisiveness, assertiveness, disagreeableness.
But all women don't have this. All women don't have this, and all men do. Do you not know how like averages work? Like when something when the one group is better at one thing on average, that does not mean, especially when it's a small effect size. For instance, like agreeableness, that's like a 0.3. So while you can make the statement that on average women are more agreeable than men, it's by such a small amount that when it comes to individuals, like let's say me and you, it would literally be like a coin toss on me being more agreeable than you. That's how that works. That's just statistics. So I think that's a really dim-witted way to view the world. That just because you're looking at group averages and then making individual judgments based on group averages.
So hold on. This OnlyFans lawyer that is already crazy by itself just said average is not everyone. But in the world, we have to go by average. We have to talk in generalities because there's exceptions to the rules in everything. So if we go by that logic, we can't speak about anything because there's always the exception. Like she just argued that the average is a small minority because it's not everyone. Like, what? It's the average of all people.
But they're categorically different. Men and women are two different categories. They have different hormones. They're wired differently. They're wired for different roles. You know, women.
No overlap? Do you think there's no overlap? Do you think it's just 100% men are this way and 100% women are this way and there's no overlap?
It's almost, it's nearly 100%. I do believe
not.
that, yes.
That's just scientifically not accurate.
Well, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I think that. You look at like right now, for instance, we arguably live in the most liberal, progressive, feminist society of all time. Europe and Western Europe and North America, probably the most liberal, feminist, progressive since the beginning of recorded history. We don't have any female billionaires, like very, very few. You look at the top 10 female billionaires, they all got their money from inheritance.
Okay, well, if you want a society that is a meritocracy, though, like let's say like 50, I think it's 15% of Nobel Prize winners are female. Would you rather have a society where it's zero? Like, wouldn't my society?
Yeah, but they're giving them to like Malala.
The best of both genders. Even if less women do X thing than men, wouldn't we want the best of the best? And for those women that can meet that standard, you don't want them to be included just because they're women. It doesn't seem like how you would operate in a real meritocracy, where we're trying to get the best of the best for any field that we're going for.
I mean, that's really a separate argument. The argument I'm making is that when you look at society, if your argument were true, that on average, men and women are equally as likely to be agreeable or not agreeable, risk takers or not risk takers, etc., then you would probably see a more substantial proportion of the super competitive people would be women. But that's not true. The most super competitive
lawyers, half of are women. I think half the medical professions are women. Women-owned businesses are less likely to go bankrupt. So there are certain fields where women are either surpassing or operating equal to men. And again, if you want a meritocracy, you want people who can survive in this economy and have a booming business, whether that's a man or a woman. Why would you categorically exclude an entire group of people based on a very, very small difference in group averages?
Well, it's not group averages. We're talking about a difference in wired temperament. Two, it's not about excluding them from all of society. I think that women should be able to work. The question is, should they be able to rule? Should they be able to govern? And I think ruling and governing is a very particular kind of science that women are just not suited for categorically. The same way that women are not suited for being, I think everyone would agree, unless you're ridiculous, women are not suited to be soldiers. Women are not suited to be police officers. I think for all the same reasons, women are not suited to govern and rule, because those do require very particular combinations of traits that, although I don't think they've never been expressed in women, I think it is completely rare. And when we're talking about a country of 350 million people, we're talking about women voting, more women vote than men. So, arguably, maybe you could get a once-in-a-generation female leader. I'll reserve the possibility, that can happen. But we're talking about women as a rule in a system participating in governance, and I think that's totally wrong. Just like, if you watch Game of Thrones, there's like that big chick is the knight. Yeah, there might be like a giant woman who could be a cop, but I don't know that we would say, oh, the cops should be half women and half men. Just like I think the voters shouldn't be half women and half men.
Guys, let me know in the comments what you think. Leave a like if you want to. Christ is King, and God bless.